Hey folks, Digital JFK Jr. here. I just wanted to take a moment to let you all know we're re-uploading this skit without any background profanity. The original version is getting a lot of traction and even starting to go viral, so we're not taking that one down. This is the exact same version, nothing less, nothing more, just without any signage or people holding signs with profanity in the background. We know some of you wanted to share it, so here's a clean version for everyone. Enjoy and feel free to spread the word. Hi everyone, I am Digital RFK Jr. And before we watch another brilliant recreation by Chris Dallas at Dualped and Celebrity Recreations, I want to touch on one thing that everyone is asking about in regards to my voice. I have a condition called spasmodic dysphonia, which affects my voice. Spasmodic dysphonia is a neurological disorder that causes involuntary spasms of the muscles in my voice box larynx. These spasms make it difficult for me to speak and results in a strained, shaky, or hoarse voice, which is why my voice sounds different or awkward to many people. Spasmodic dysphonia is not caused by any surgical procedure, but is believed to be related to problems with the nervous system, specifically the areas of the brain that control muscle movement in the voice box. While the exact cause isn't always known, it can sometimes be associated with stress or overuse of the voice. There is no cure for the condition, but treatments like Botox injections into the vocal cords or speech therapy can help me manage the symptoms. Thank you for listening. Now on with the debate.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tony Montana, your moderator for tonight's debate. Now, I know you all know who I am, so let's skip the introductions. Tonight, we've got a special showdown, Vice President Kamala Harris versus Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's now teamed up with Donald Trump. Let's set some ground rules right from the start, okay? You two listen up, because I don't have time for any nonsense. I'm keeping this whole thing PG, so don't push me to the edge, alright? Now, if you think I'm gonna say anything stupid, you better think twice. I'll be watching every word out of your mouths, and if you step out the line, there'll be consequences. We'll start with opening statements, 3 minutes each. And remember, stay in line, play nice, or else. Vice President Harris, you go first.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Our nation is facing significant challenges from climate change to health care, and we need leaders who understand the issues and can build on the progress we've made under the Biden-Harris administration. We've fought for economic recovery, climate justice, and the rights of all Americans, and will continue to do so. My opponent's alliance with Donald Trump raises questions about his commitment to these important values. We need to move forward, not backward, and I am here to stand up for that progress.
Thank you, Kamala, and thank you, everyone, for being here. My decision to join forces with Donald Trump isn't about moving backward. It's about moving forward in a way that respects the Constitution, public health, and individual freedom. Our current administration has overreached its authority, especially in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has eroded trust in public health institutions. As a nation, we need to question, challenge, and demand transparency from our leaders. That's why I'm here tonight, to advocate for truth, freedom, and integrity.
Okay, now let's talk about public health. Vice President Harris, the Biden-Harris administration pushed for vaccine mandates and other COVID-19 measures. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you've been a vocal critic of these policies. Why?
It's simple. The American people have a right to bodily autonomy and informed consent. Kamala, your administration pushed mandates without fully transparent data and overlooked natural immunity, which has been shown to be effective in numerous studies. Forcing mandates on people, especially those who are young and healthy, is an infringement on personal freedom. People lost jobs, livelihoods, and were ostracized for choosing what's right for them. That's not public health, it's authoritarianism.
We were acting in the interest of public safety, Robert. The vaccines were the best tool we had to control the spread of COVID-19 and prevent deaths. Our decisions were based on science and expert advice.
But you ignored alternative scientific voices, Kamala. You silenced dissenting opinions, some from highly respected doctors and scientists. The very foundation of science is debate, not censorship. The truth is, public health policy should be about protecting the most vulnerable while respecting individual rights. People should never have to choose between feeding their families and following their conscience.
Okay, man, let's move to the environment. Vice President Harris, you've been a proponent of the Green New Deal. Mr. Kennedy, what's your stance?
The Green New Deal is about securing our future. Climate change is an existential threat, and we must act now. The Biden-Harris administration has made historic investments in clean energy, electric vehicles, and reducing carbon emissions. This is about saving our planet.
Kamala, you talk about climate change, but what about accountability for major polluters? Under your administration, big corporations continue to get away with environmental degradation, while ordinary Americans bear the cost. I'm for real environmental reform, holding corporations accountable, stopping subsidies for fossil fuels, and investing in truly sustainable energy solutions like nuclear power, which you've ignored. Your policies hurt the working class the most with rising energy costs and taxes that don't affect the wealthy elites.
Our policies are aimed at transitioning to a greener economy, Robert. Fossil fuels are outdated, and renewables are the future.
I'm not against renewables, Kamala, but we need a balanced approach. The problem is your green agenda is more about corporate profit and political control than actually solving environmental problems. It pushes expensive technologies that most Americans can't afford while lining the pockets of those who lobby for these policies. That's not progress, that's exploitation.
Okay, man. Lastly, it's discuss civil liberties and freedom of speech. How do you both view the current state of free speech in America?
Free speech is a fundamental right, but we also need to ensure that misinformation and hate speech do not spread. The Biden-Harris administration is committed to safeguarding democracy by fighting misinformation that can cause harm.
Kamala decides what's misinformation. Censorship by tech companies and the government is a slippery slope. Today, it's about health. Tomorrow, it's about anything that goes against the prevailing political narrative. This is a form of control and a direct threat to our democracy. People should be free to express their thoughts, even if they challenge the mainstream narrative. That's how democracy works.
Robert, misinformation can be dangerous. It can lead to real-world harm, as we've seen.
The real danger, Kamala, is in suppressing debate. Let people decide for themselves. Transparency and truth should guide us, not fear of what might be. If you believe in the strength of your policies and actions, then they should stand up to scrutiny, not be shielded by censorship.
Okay, man. We've discussed public health and the environment. Now let's turn to leadership and national security. Mr. Kennedy, you've been vocal about Vice President Harris's performance. What are your thoughts on her role over the past 4 years?
Thank you. Kamala, let's talk about your track record as vice president, specifically your handling of the border crisis. Over the past 4 years, we've seen over 20 million illegal immigrants cross our borders. This isn't just a number, it's a massive failure of leadership and responsibility. You were assigned to handle the border issue, yet you've only been there once, one visit in 4 years. That's not leadership, that's neglect.
Robert, addressing the root causes of migration takes time. We're focusing on diplomatic solutions and economic aid to the countries where these people are coming from.
Diplomatic solutions, the American people have heard enough talk about root causes while our borders remain wide open. People are suffering because of this. The influx of illegal aliens has led to increased crime rates in our drug trafficking, and human trafficking. American citizens are the ones paying the price. It's pathetic that you've been more focused on photo ops than actually solving the crisis. How can you call that progress?
We are committed to a humane and comprehensive immigration policy, Robert. We can't just build walls and expect the problem to go away.
I'm not saying we should be inhumane, but we must enforce our laws. Allowing unchecked immigration without any accountability undermines the safety and security of our country. You claim to care about justice and equality, but where is the justice for the families of American citizens harmed by criminal elements that slip through our border? Where is the equality when American workers lose their jobs to illegal labor? You had 4 years to address this, Kamala. Instead, you chose to ignore the crisis while American communities, particularly minority communities, bear the brunt of the consequences. This isn't just a failure, it's a betrayal of the very people you claim to represent. Leadership means making tough decisions and facing challenges head on, not avoiding them. That's what I'll bring to the table: real leadership, real accountability, and a commitment to protecting the American people. Kamala, let me be frank with you and with everyone watching tonight. The American people deserve a leader who will face challenges, not avoid them. They need someone who will prioritize their safety, their freedoms, and their prosperity. So over the past 4 years, your actions, or rather your inactions, have shown that you are not that leader. You've had the responsibility to address the border crisis, but instead of taking decisive action, you've turned a blind eye. You've only visited the border once while millions of illegal immigrants have poured into our country, overwhelming our systems, increasing crime rates, and endangering our citizens. Your administration's refusal to secure the border has led to chaos, with drugs and human trafficking becoming rampant. This is not the America we want or the America our founders envisioned. On top of that, your track record shows a disturbing pattern of placing political correctness and appeasement above the genuine needs of the American people. You've aligned yourself with policies that push divisiveness and foster mistrust. From enforcing vaccine mandates without regard for individual rights to supporting environmental policies that disproportionately burden working-class families, your decisions have consistently hurt the very people you claim to advocate for. Kamala, you talk about justice and equality, but where is the justice for the hardworking American families who are struggling to make ends meet while their communities become less safe? Where is the equality for small business owners who had to shut down because of overreaching government mandates? You've failed to stand up for the middle class, the backbone of this country. You've failed to stand up for the rights and freedoms that define us as Americans. Yeah, you say you want to lead this country, but true leadership means making the tough calls, putting the American people first, and standing by principles of freedom and transparency. It means being willing to listen to different viewpoints, to engage in honest debate, and to admit when mistakes are made. Your administration has shown time and again that it is more interested in controlling the narrative in seeking the truth. If you win, Kamala, we will see more of the same, more division, more government overreach, more disregard for our Constitution, and more policies that fail to protect our citizens. We cannot afford another 4 years of neglect, empty promises, and failed leadership. America needs a president who will unite us, who will stand up for our rights, and who will fight for the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. This country is crying out for change, real change, and that change will not come from more of the same broken policies and failed leadership that you represent. It will come from leaders who respect the Constitution, who believe in individual freedom, who demand accountability, and who put the American people first. That's the kind of leadership I stand for, and that's why I'm here to offer a different vision for our great nation, one that is grounded in the principles of liberty, justice, and truth. Before we wrap up tonight, I want to take a moment to thank Chris Dallas Dualped and Celebrity Recreations for bringing you yet another remarkable creation. This isn't just AI, this is storytelling at its finest. Chris puts in the hard work and creativity to bring these stories to life, making them more than just simple animations. He goes the extra mile. He crafts intricate narratives that engage, challenge, and entertain. They're about sharing perspectives, sparking conversations, and providing a space where real voices can be heard. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you want to be heard, like the video if you found it insightful, and share it so others can join the conversation. Your support helps keep these creations coming, and we appreciate each and every one of you who takes the time to watch and engage with us. Thank you, everyone, for watching and being part of this channel. Together, we can keep these important conversations going and get Trump back in that White House where he belongs. Until next time, I'm Digital RFK Jr., wishing you all a good night.